I wanted to not only indicate to everyone in the room that Cheryl is here, but I want to tell you a little story. If Cheryl hadn't come forward to be an advocate for her son, as well as to be an advocate for a lot of other families, she took on that responsibility voluntarily. All she's asked us to do is to get answers as to what happened here and why it happened, to make sure that no other family has to endure the pain and the tragedy that she's had to endure. And I think we should be guided by what Cheryl Harris has stood for in this whole long, difficult chapter in recent American history, where soldiers who were willing to give, as Abraham Lincoln said a long time ago, the last full measure of devotion to their country, perfectly willing to give that for their country, they and their families would never have thought that their deaths wouldn't be on a battlefield or wouldn't be in a firefight in war or in combat, but would come by doing something as fundamental to any life as taking a shower or washing a Humvee or doing basic activities of daily living. So they were perfectly willing to give their lives, but no soldier should have to give their lives in this way, and no family should have to endure what Cheryl Harris and so many other families have lived through. But as I said before, Cheryl has also been concerned, deeply concerned about, and I think this has motivated her, deeply concerned about other families, to make sure this doesn't happen to more families. So I think we should be guided by her commitment and guided by her example. What we're looking for here is something fundamental in our system. We're looking for accountability, and we're trying to seek justice. And the only way we can have either accountability or justice is to arrive at the truth. And we still have a ways to go on that. Over the past year, since early 2008, after learning about Ryan's death, I've been engaged in a continuous effort to get to the truth by contacting and demanding answers from U.S. military leaders, including Secretary Gates, General Petraeus, and others, to ensure accountability for the 18 U.S. military personnel who died by electrocution. Just as important, I've been pressing them to ensure that no more American soldiers die due to faulty wiring or negligent work. Our efforts have resulted in important progress on the issue of accountability. In January, the United States Army Criminal Investigative Division reclassified the death of Ryan Mesa from, quote, accident, as Senator Dorgan pointed out before, to, quote, negligent homicide, focusing on the roles played by two KBR personnel for failing to carry out their contractual requirements. In the wake of that disclosure, the U.S. Army has reopened 4 other electrocution cases for further investigation. I've been told repeatedly that the United States Army is doing everything it can to rectify this situation. A dedicated Task Force SAFE, S-A-F-E, was established to implement actions to reduce the risk of electrocution, shocks, and electrical fires, and to launch a comprehensive information campaign to educate U.S. military personnel on the risks. General Petraeus deployed a team from the U.S. Army Combat Readiness Center to perform an independent analysis of past electrical incidents. And U.S. Army personnel were instructed to correct such basic flaws as overloaded circuits and uncertified electrical devices. We're happy about all that, and I want to commend General Petraeus for bringing the kind of focus that he's brought to this problem as he has. But not enough has been achieved here. When you have individual sites that number as many as 80,000, and the inspections, the thorough inspections and review number is only about 25,000, even if it's grown since the last time we had contact on a specific number. Maybe it's 30,000, maybe it's 35,000, but we're nowhere near the 80 or more thousand sites that should be inspected and reviewed. And to give these families some peace of mind, that review and those inspections have to be completed if we're going to bring about accountability. And with regard to KBR, as Senator Dorgan outlined thoroughly, why is it that any company that may have been directly responsible for the deaths of American fighting men and women in any circumstance, but especially in this circumstance, why should they be getting more contracts? Why should they be getting fees of any kind now that we know all this information? The Defense Department has not answered these basic questions to my satisfaction, and I don't think they've answered them to the satisfaction of the American people. And the fundamental question is, when it comes to basic justice, how can someone or some firm be paid when these questions remain unanswered? These are questions that Cheryl Harris and so many other families have been asking for far too long. It's about time that the Defense Department provide all the answers and put this issue behind us so that we can make sure that this kind of injustice is never visited upon any other American soldier and any other American family. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.